Okay. Athletes, don't forget, we have our meet today over at Saxton. God bless. Okay, I'm going to scroll it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, one more at the bottom here. Oh no, that was the bottom. Okay, we go to.
So like this?
Yeah.
What does like B do? Do we kind of like say like?
Let me go. I'll go over that in a couple of minutes. Okay, bud. I didn't do every question on this page, but this was an important question because I screwed up. Hold on. I screwed up on this. It should not have been negative 39. It should have been positive 39. Then it would have worked out with nice, even, beautiful whole numbers. But just because it doesn't work out with nice, beautiful, even whole numbers doesn't mean you can't do it. And in these days of calculators, you can definitely do it. If there was one common thread on the quizzes from the last 2 days, it was don't round off. Likewise, unless it tells you to round off, do not round off. So if you choose to do this in decimal, you better make sure you have an exact decimal. On the quiz today, it was 10.72 and the decimal terminated, so that worked out okay. On this problem, I didn't even bother trying to convert this into a decimal because with a denominator like 37, it's going to be ugly. All right, it's going to be like point blah 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 blah. So I just left it negative 4/37, and I was doing this in my head. So at the very end, I just left a great big box, and then you would divide by 3 for whatever that worked out to, and then you would do math, enter, enter. Okay? Sarah E., you had a question? Give me 1 minute. I want to take attendance here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 4. That's everybody. And let's see here. Okay, go ahead. That's your first. Okay. And there's the last couple at the end there. Okay? Any questions from anybody? We're looking good on that homework, right? Good. It's such an important part of the learning process to reflect on whatever it is that you've done and to see, is it right, is it wrong, where do you need to get better, what do you need to improve at? If you don't do that, you don't get better. All right, what's today's lesson number? 18? All right. So let's get started. And we have, again, the next 3 days, each day we're going to do some combination of graphing inequalities, graphing equations. A lot of times they'll be simultaneous in nature. and then solving algebraically, either substitution or elimination, one or the other. So let's take a look at each of these questions, go through them step by step, and make sure we're able to get a little better understanding today than we had yesterday. That's the whole key. Progress, walking out that door. Okay. So I look at this first graph here, and when I look at this first graph, I see I'm going to add 10x to both sides. So that'll give me y is greater than 10x plus 25. Everybody agree? Yes.
There's cookie points on the board.
There's cookie points?
Oh, yeah.
Oh! That's Spencer's handwriting, all about cookie points.
I get 2 cookies.
I had like, Mr. Lincoln told me like 5.
All right.
Well, you're not on the board, AJ. Write them on the board next time.
Okay. Now, what's the slope? Everybody, 10 or 10 over 1, right? And what's the y-intercept? 25. I think I heard someone say 10x. The slope never includes the x. So let's go to 25 on the y-axis. And I can't fit this in here. So I'm going to do each box is equal to 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And I'll put it right there. All right. If I could fit it and you could read it, I would write it with this, but I can't. So you should know that that's 25. And I would set a little scale up here by marking each box equal to 5. Now, I'm going to go up 2 over 1. How come I only went up 2 when it says the slope is 10? Bless you. Yeah, each box is equal to 5. So therefore, by going up 2 boxes, it's a total of 10. Is this a broken or a solid line? Broken it is. And am I going to shade above or below?
Above,
Above. Why above?
because it's more than.
Because it's greater than. Very good. Okay, so there's my first graph. Next one. -6 is less than or equal to y. I want to turn this around so it looks like that. I really like my y's or my x's on the left so that I can see it shading greater than, less than, etc. So it says -6. This time each box will be 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's solid because it's or equal to. And Anthony, is this greater than or less than?
It's saying y is greater than negative.
So would you shade above or below?
I would say below it.
No.
Oh, above it.
Greater. Definitely want to be above. Anthony, if you go in a pool and you're greater than 4 feet tall and the water's 4 feet, is your head above the water or below the water?
Below.
If you're greater than 4 feet tall and it's a 4-foot pool, like I'm greater than 4 foot tall. If I step into a 4-foot pool, is my head going to be above water or below water?
Above.
Definitely. Therefore, since I'm greater, I'm above. So greater always gets shaded above. Think of it this way also. You want all the numbers that are greater than -6, all the y's. So here's y is 2, y is 10, y is a jillion. You want to shade above it, not below it. God bless.
Thank you.
All right, next one. Y is less than or equal to -7.5x plus 15. So, I guess what I'm going to do is go up by 5s. So 5, 10, 15, I'll make my mark there. You could do a different mark, obviously. And then I'm going to go down. Now, if each one is equal to 5, I'm going to go down 1.5 over 1. Down 1.5 over 1. Down 1.5 over 1. Right? Oh, hold on, I went too far here. Down 1.5, 1.5. There we go. 1.5. 1.5. And this is going to be a solid line, and it's less than. So I should go. Okay. God bless. All right. Again, you can vary the scale on your graph. The scale doesn't have to match my scale. It just has to be a scale that works for the numbers given. Okay. Anybody have any questions? All right. Now, let's get on with some examples from today. So this wants you to solve it both graphically and algebraically. Let's have you do it graphically, and then I'll go through the algebraic with you. Go ahead. Yes. Yeah. If you have a hard time seeing them on your paper because they're too light, do the best guess you can. Give you about a minute to graph these 2 lines. Okay, so when I have little areas to work on like this, I like to switch the pen to a smaller size. The first one, the slope is 4, the y-intercept's -1. What's the slope on the second one? Everybody?
-half.
Good, and what's the y-intercept?
8.
Good. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down 1/2. Oh, I always like that. I went through a perfect point. That is not a guarantee that I'm correct, but it strongly suggests that I am correct. Y equals -1/2 x plus 8. And then the solution, which is very important to label, is 2, 7. Okay? 2, 7. Any questions about that? All right, so that is the graphic solution. And you know what? Sometimes the graphic solution is a great way to do things. This is one that worked out really well. If you remember in yesterday's class, we did one where they would have met off the grid, and we really couldn't tell what the point of intersection was. So in that case, we were better off doing it algebraically. And some of you guys might like the graphing approach more. Some of you might like the algebraic approach more. A lot of times on the Regents exam, they give you the two equations, and they say use of the graph is optional. And what that means is, if you want to solve it graphically like we just did, go ahead. And if you want to solve it algebraically like we're about to, go ahead. Whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you happy. Okay, so here we have y equals 4x minus 1, and also y equals -1/2 x plus 8. Let's just say, now I know this isn't true, are we perfectly clear about this? But for demonstrative purposes, let's say that Anthony weighs the same amount I do. And let's say that I weigh, I am so careful not to pick a girl here, the same amount Kyle does. What do we know about Anthony and Kyle? They have to weigh the same. Well, if the y equals this guy, and the y equals that guy, what do you know about those two guys? They're the same. So 4x minus 1 equals -1/2 x plus 8. This is an opposite side operation situation. Spencer, you're not having a good day. Add 1/2 x to both sides. Actually, this could be a very normal Spencer day.
Yep.
4.5 x minus 1 equals 8. And 1, 4 and 1/2 x equals 9. Divide by 4.5. And I get x equals 2. Which is really pretty cool because I got 2 in both places. All done? No, because what didn't I do yet? I didn't go back and get y. Go do that. You cranky today? Just the way you exhale. When I hear my wife exhale like that, I know I need to go to another part of the house.
Just take the number 2 and put it.
Okay, so I can use either equation, but I would much prefer the top one because there's no mean, nasty, ugly fractions. So y equals 4x minus 1, y equals 4 times 2 minus 1, y equals 7. 2, 7, 2, 7. Make sense? I get the same answer either way. That's always comforting. That means there is a almost certainty that you got it right. Any questions I need to do on this? Okay, so now we're going to get to review our vertical lines, our horizontal lines, and our inequalities. Go ahead. So, I wrote in red, blue, and green for each of the graphs, the major points that you need to be able to agree with quickly. For x is greater than or equal to 0, since it's an x equals, it's always a vertical line. Those are the only lines that are vertical. There is no slope. It's a solid line because of the or equal to underneath, and we're going to shade to the right because we want to be greater than 0. The numbers to the right are greater than 0. That's pretty much the y-axis. And another name for the y-axis is x equals 0. So here's my shading. God bless.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, let's do the blue one next. Y is less than 2. Now, any y equals is a horizontal line, y equals a constant. And in this case, it's going to be a broken line, and we are going to shade below. So here's 2,
Wait, why would you do
because it's less than. Okay. And I'm going to shade below. Okay. And now I get to my green line. The slope is negative 1/3, the y-intercept is 0. So 0, down 1/3, down 1/3, down 1/3, and backside here. Now this is strictly greater than, so it's a broken line. And there's my arrows. I didn't label each line only because they are all color-coded in this. And graph the solution. Since it wants the solution set, I'm always going to draw, oh, it says greater, so I didn't shade it yet, but I will shade it now. This is a greater than, so we're going to shade above. And the letter S, the great big S, covers where they all intersect or shade over each other. And that would be the area right there. Often, they say name a point in the solution set. So I can name the point 8, 0, 10, 0, something like that, okay? Any questions?
No.
All right, so we did a nice job of doing inequalities, horizontal, vertical, solving by substitution, graphic solutions, etc. Keep practicing. Tonight we got 2 more days of this kind of review. What do we have going on next week? Test on Thursday next week. Relearn packets due Thursday this week. Today's Tuesday, yeah.